welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to learn about Spring AI response types. But before learning this, let's recap what we have learned in initial introductory Spring AI video. So we have set up the Spring AI application with Ollama Chat Client, and we have created few APIs in the Ollama Chat service where we have Summary API, Code API and Chat API, which are present in Ollama controllers. So with Summary API, it will act as that it will be a helpful assistant for summarize any given content. So we have added the context here for each of the APIs. So in this video, we are going to learn what are the different types of Spring AI responses. So let me go back to Postman and see. First, let me run this our application and see. So I have started this application and we will be using Summary API. So here if you see, this is the root path API summary. So if I use API summary and if I give it a prompt, then we will get a response. See, we got the response. Now if we see the implementation part, what we have implemented it, we have used the chat client that we have created with the Ollama that we have set up locally. The version that we are using for Ollama is Gemma 2b. Okay, so let me go back and see. So here what we have done, we have just used chat client prompt method, and here we have passed the system context summarizer for guarding it so that it will give us the correct result. Here we are providing the prompt that user is going to pass through API call, and then we are calling the call method. On top of that, we are calling the content method. So here if we look at the content method, it is returning a string. So we are going to get our response in the string format. So if you see, when we are hitting it, we are getting all the data directly in string format. But what other formats we have in other response types we can use? So apart from content, this is the basic one which will directly give us string response. But there are two other methods that we can use. One is chat response and another is chat client response. So let's try to implement it. Let me create a summary response. Let me create a summary to method, and we will have the same things. Let me create a new API to test this new things, summary 2, and here also we can use this. Here we can change the method name to summary 2. Now our application is ready. In summary 2 method, we are doing the same thing, but instead of using content, what we are going to use it, let me remove it and let me try to use chat response or chat client response. Let's use chat client response first. So now we need to change the data types, or we need to see what we are returning in chat client response. So chat client response returns chat client response class. So what we can do is, instead of string, we can do chat client response, and in the usage type also we can do it chat client response. Now it should work. Let me restart the application and see what we will get. We will be passing the same values in summary 2. So let me duplicate the request. Let me rename it to summary 2, right? So here in the body we will pass. So if you see in summary, we are going to get simple string format data, same as previous, right? Now let me pass the same content in summary 2. In summary 2, What we are using as return type is chat client response. Oh, why we have got the same response? Because here I am using the same API. Now let me hit it again using summary tool. So if you see here we got the different output. Now we got chat response in JSON format, which has different internal elements like result, which internally has some values, some fields, key value pair. Then we have metadata, right? One set of more metadata, then we have result, and then we have context. These two things we are getting. So what we are getting here is metadata is thing different. It can vary. Metadata fields can vary for different LLM models. So we are using Olama. Then here we will have these sort of fields. So some fields in metadata will remain common in different LLM models like ID and model. So here we are using the Gemma 2B that we are getting here. Here we are also getting usage, like how many tokens we are using, right? So these are the things that we are going to get in if we are going to use chat client response in summary tool. Now let me try it. Let's see what is the implementation. If we see now we can use another method, chat client, chat response. So here we have, now it will return chat response. So what is the basic difference between chat response and chat client response? If we see, chat response implements model response, and it will give us same metadata generation value and the result field, right? Only thing is in chat client response is this context is coming as empty. This we will get extra in case of chat client response as compared to chat response. So let me try to restart it, as we are using chat response here. Now we will not get the context. So application has restarted. Now let me try to hit it again, summary to endpoint. And here we will get the response. See, here we get uh, the different format: result, metadata, output, metadata, result. Here we do not get any context field, right? That is the only difference that we will have between chat response and chat client response. So why these fields are necessary? Why we need these values? Why can't we get directly data in the form of string? Because here we get multiple details like what is the rate limit, what is the usage, so that we can we can monitor the usage, and we can rate limit. We can check the what is the rate limit request that is pending for our API calls. Those things will be handy when we are trying to integrate it in these API responses in our application, right? So now we have seen all the response method types. Now let's see structured output. How we can get structured output from the LLM response in the Spring AI. So if you see here we have, let me go to the chat response. If you see this interface, call response back, it has some methods. Some of the methods that we have already used, one is content, one is chat response, one is chat client response. We can go and see each of their implementations, and we have seen like how these are, what output we are getting. But there are three other methods here. If you see, entity methods, entity which are overloaded. which have one has structured output converter and one has parameterized type reference, right? So what this entity methods will do. So this will be helpful if we want to map our response into a entity or a DTO that we generally create in our Java applications. So how if we see the implementation, it uses a converter. So it will try to map the response in JSON format in the fields that we are going to describe and the context that we are going to set for our LLM Spring AI response, right? So let me try to create it. This, mm, so instead of summary 2, let me create one summary response API. Here we will use entity and I have created one summary response API. If you see, here I have added three fields: summary points, highlights. So here we will get data in this format: summary points and highlights. So every response will have these two data points. Let me try to map it. So what we need to pass here, we need to pass the mapping of this class, summary response dot class. See what now it should return the summary response. So now what we can do is in the service or in the controller, we can create one more endpoint with summary response, and this same thing we can call it in the method, and here we can use the summary response method. Now it should we should get the summary response data type. So let me just check it once. Summary response, here we are, instead of chat response, chat client response or content, we are calling it entity, and we are trying to map our DTO class that we have created with this record. Instead of record, we can also use JSON for it, for mapping it, but we have used record. So what we can do here is, now let's rerun our application and try to hit this API and see what we are going to get. So our application is up. Now I have already created this summary response endpoint. Here we have this, and let me see, I have already put this AI. Let me send it. So we will get response in this format. See, now we got summary points, highlights, as we have not mapped error in this. So how we are getting it? It will try to summarize it, and then it will try to map it. But if you see in this, we are not getting highlights properly. So what we can do in context, uh, we can mention these points separately, that we want these 2 points in highlighted way. Give output in below format. Summary point should be given, highlight should be given separately, right? So let me just restart my application and let's try to re-hit the API. Let me try to hit it again. See, now we are getting it more proper way, right? So now we have covered how we can get data in the form of DTU. Now one can argue, like, we can pass some things. Now what we can do is, let me go to the chat service. In this we are passing this entity. But there are, if you see, there are two, here we have used this implementation. But there are two different methods as well. One is parameterized and one is structured output converter. So what are these converters? So these are these converters like list output converter, map output converter. So what is list output converter? Let's say we are trying to ask uh, prompt from the LLM, which which we can get the data in the form of list. So we can use this list output converter if we want to get the data always in the form of list. Let me try to use that. So what we need to do here is, instead of using this DTU, what we can do is new list output converter. Here what it will return? It will return list of strings. See, now if we change it, list of string, and let me restart the application. Now let me ask it again. See, now we are getting this in this format, right? Oh, this is not taking it from here. Ideally should not give the data. You see, now we are getting data in the form of list, right? So now we have seen how list output converter will give results. Same way we can use map output converter as well, which can map the data in the form of key value pair, right? Now let's see the streaming output. Okay, so what is streaming output? If you see here, if I write a message here, what is Spring AI, and hit enter, it will start typing response, right? If you see, it is continuously giving us data. It is not just collecting all the data and giving it in the end. But if you see in our APIs, right, we need to wait it to get the complete result, and then we get the 200 response. So what we can do here is, instead of using content or any API, what we can do is use stream. Instead of call, we can use stream, and what we can do is dot content. Instead of string, what we need to pass is flux of string. Here if I change it, flux of string, then, and if I restart the application, and if you see here, now we will get data in the same way how we are getting it in any LLM. If I hit now, you will see that we will get data in chunks, token by token. See, although in Postman we are seeing it like in this way, but we will get it in this format. Instead of now let's see this in the browser. So instead of this request parent, I need to do this. Prompt, same thing, I can pass it in both params, and if I hit enter, we will get response continuously. So if I copy this and paste my link here and click enter, you will see we are getting data in same format. So what this streaming is doing, this streaming is collecting the data chunk by chunk from the LLM. So if what we can do here is we can again use here the chat client response. So here we need to do plus chat client response. To better understand it, we will see this part. This will help us understanding how LLM works and give its output. Chat client response. So now in which way we should get the data? Let me restart it and show. Now we will get each token separately. Whatever LLM is going to process it, it will send to our application and then process the next token, next set of information with the previous information. So if I use it, summary, give it. Now you see we got an array of chat client response data, right? See here we get only text I, metadata, and here if you see the token usage, you will have the token usage as well. See, I can only help with. So here we are getting data in list. For each token, we are getting results, right? So can we do here the entity part? If you see stream response spec, there are only three types: flux of string, flux of chat response, flux of chat client response. Here we do not have entity type, like we will not able to map it into our DTO, or we can use any uh, list output converter or parameterized converters, right? So now we will be left with parameterized converters. So let me go to the Olana controller where we have summary responses and we have this. Now let me set new parameterized type difference. With this, what we need to do is we can pass it in summary response as well. So now we will get data in the form of list, same summary in the form of summary response, but we will get multiple responses so that we can use it in a situation where we can have like better understanding, or we can get best of three data, right? So here we can pass summary response. See, now let me try to restart it. Previously in summary response we got single output with these DTO fields, right? Now we will get a list of output. Let me try to run it. And hit it. Summary response. We got some error. Okay, I got it. Actually, it is trying to, our LLM context is trying to give only one data that it cannot convert into a list. So if we see the our chat service in the system context, we have not told the system context that it should give multiple results. So what I am going to type is at least. Give us at least 3 summaries for each topic so that we can choose the best one along with the existing context. Let me restart the application. Now we will get the data in the form of list. Now see, now we will get 3 different types of responses minimum. See now summary points. Spring AI is a suite. This is different from this one. Here we have highlights. In this one there are no highlights. In this one there is highlights and it has different summary points as well. So this is the use of parameterized structured output. So now what we have seen is we have seen the implementation, like we have seen the output of each of the implementation. Entity with parameterized type reference, entity with structured output converter, and entity with simple class type reference, right? So now we have completed all the Spring AI response types that we can use in our Spring Boot applications to use LLMs to integrate. How this is beneficial for us, because see, we always from our backend to front end or to any client we send data in the form of JSON, right? But in if we are just going to send in a big chunk of string to our front end or any client, then it is not going to be in good format. So what we can do is we can convert our response, incoming response from LLM via Spring AI in the form of DTO and can send it. That will that will really help us to integrate any Spring AI response or any LLM response from our existing APIs. I hope you like this video. Thanks for watching.